of our friends and partners for a very, very exciting announcement for our Aging in Place program. My name is Jesse Ergott. I'm the president and CEO of NeighborWorks Northeastern Pennsylvania. And there's one thing that you should know about us right off the bat, and that's that we believe that seniors are a really critical part to the health of our neighborhoods and our communities as a whole. And we believe that keeping them in their homes safely and with dignity is one of the most basic things that we can do to make our community as a whole stronger. And so it's interesting to me that 10 years ago, we were standing pretty close to where we are right now here in the city of Carbondale. I was with Michelle Bannon, who's right here, city clerk of Carbondale and on the board of NeighborWorks, and we had just launched the first large-scale volunteer home repair program with a big group of volunteers here in Carbondale. A lot of those volunteer projects were helping seniors here in the community with small projects like painting and fixing up porches and things like that. And we started to realize and recognize at that time that there were many, many seniors in our community who were really, really struggling with staying in those homes. We would have a great day of painting the outside of their homes. We'd fix some porch railings and stairs, and then we'd walk inside. They'd invite us inside for some lemonade or cookies, and we'd look around and recognize the types of barriers that many of our seniors faced. Many of them didn't have first floor bathrooms and had trouble getting up and down the stairs. Many of them, unfortunately, were even forced to bathe in sinks and things like that. And so at that time, we started to recognize this issue that couldn't be fixed by painting the outside of a house or fixing some stairs. It needed to really have more resources put at it. A couple years later, there was a group of big thinkers in the region who were starting to think about this issue as well. In 2016, Bob Kelly from the Weinberg Foundation invited a group of people to a site visit in Baltimore, Maryland, to take a look at this interesting model that was taking place down there, where a group of organizations were working together on an aging in place model, help seniors with small modifications and other types of things that would help them stay in their homes. When we were returning from that trip, and a couple people that are in this room were there, John Cosgrove from All One Foundation and Charities, and a few others, Latita Smith from the Moses Taylor Foundation, CEO at the time. We were on our way back, and we started saying, you know what, this is a model that could really work here in northeastern Pennsylvania. It's something we could do to make a difference in the lives of seniors here. And so I went back to my board of directors and kind of pitched it and said, hey, you know what, we've had all this experience in doing home repairs and home rehabilitation programs over the years. What if we really focused on helping seniors and trying to get some resources into their hands to try to really have a big impact on this issue? And to their credit, as I mentioned, Michelle Bannon, Teddy Michael, Joe Joyce, some other board members who were there at the time came and said, you know what, this is something we need to do. We do believe this is a model that can work here in northeastern Pennsylvania. And so to their credit, we went back to Weinberg Foundation. We said, we need some help if we're going to get this thing off the ground. And the foundation really made a transformational investment in this organization and this community by giving us a couple years worth of capacity building funding to kind of really figure out how we were going to do this at scale. And I made one call right after I heard from Bob Kelly about that investment. It was to Jason Kavulich here from Lackawanna County Area Agency on Aging. I said, Jason, we got to figure out how to do this now because we have the opportunity. And it was really the beginning of what our Aging in Place program has become over the course of the next few years. We've done a lot, which we're really excited about. We've helped over 400 seniors just in Lackawanna County with all sorts of different Aging in Place services, from critical safety repairs, home modifications, senior isolation prevention, all these types of services that really have helped people be stable in their own homes. We didn't do that alone. We had many, many partners. First to the table was, as I mentioned, Weinberg Foundation. NeighborWorks America was a huge partner in the early days, helping us figure out how to get this program up and running. The Moses Taylor Foundation, Geisinger, NJB Construction, Scranton Area Foundation, All One Foundation, and charities, Highmark, even the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency invested in the model that we had put together, and the Ignatian Volunteer Corps, and many, many others who came around and said, yes, this is an important thing to do in a community like ours. There are people out there who need us. How can we pull together the talent and the resources to make this happen? So again, in a little over 4 years, we've helped over 400 seniors with these types of services, which we're really excited about. And now, after leveraging all that time, the resources, the talent of so many partners and people here locally to help us pull this together, we're really, really excited today to announce a major federal investment in this program. We just received word not too long ago that we received a $1 million grant from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development through their Older Adults Home Rehabilitation Grant Program. That funding is going to help us to not only double down on our investment to help seniors here in Lackawanna County, but it's also going to help us expand these services into Wayne County, which we're really, really excited about. Over 200 new home modifications will take place with this funding, and we're hoping that's just the start. There's a lot of other resources that can be leveraged by these federal dollars that we're going to put into play. Our program was one of about 30 from across the country that was funded through this program out of a very competitive process. So we are truly, truly grateful to HUD, to all of our federal partners for investing in our community in this way. I'll say none of this would have been possible without the amazing work of the NeighborWorks staff and our team who's just put so much time and energy into this. I'm going to ask my team to stand, if you wouldn't mind. Thank you all for the work that you do each and every day. These are the types of things that just wouldn't be possible without some great people all pulling in the same direction every single day. I'm especially grateful to Ellen Holden and Mary Endrusick for all their hard work from taking this from a concept to an actual reality, this program. They worked countless hours and worked very hard pulling all the pieces of this together. And we truly appreciate the work that you do to the benefit of all the seniors in our community. So I'm going to ask Mary to come up and say a few words on behalf of the Aging in Place team. Thanks, Mary.
Thanks, Jess, and thank you to all of you for coming out and joining us for the announcement of this very well-deserved and well-needed grant in our community. We're very excited to continue the work in Lackawanna County. We have a wait list of 150 strong, so that will definitely help us in being able, as Jesse said, to clean that up and to be able to serve the seniors in Lackawanna County. We'll also be moving and expanding our program into Wayne County with the partnership with Mary over at Area Agency on Aging of Wayne County, and she'll be addressing us shortly. However, I'd like to talk about, as Jesse mentioned, our team. This grant would not have been possible, nor would the last 3 years have been possible, without the wonderful team that we have here in our Aging in Place program. Jesse already acknowledged Ellen Holden, but she's our Aging in Place specialist. And what Ellen does is she goes out and she's our frontline person speaking to the older adults. This is very important, as if we don't have Ellen's expertise in green and healthy housing, then we don't know what needs to be done. We then want to thank NJB Construction and Nick Rajuka. Nick was the first to come on board to assist us in realizing what type of modifications needed to be done. We also brought on 2 occupational therapists who aren't able to be here today, but they do assist with making sure that we're aware of what critical safety modifications need to be done. We've also have Natalie O'Hara with us, who was brought on to help with this expansion. Natalie will be assisting us in contracting and managing all of our contracts. Without all of these wonderful people, none of this work would be able to be done. The 400 strong older adults that have been served, and the over 200 that will be continued to be served. So thank you to all of you. Jason Kavulich.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here today. This is a very proud moment for the Lackawanna County community. To come this far, as Jesse said, we began this journey about 4 years ago. I was new to the aging community. It was my first time as a director, and we built this program together from the bottom up, looking at what we needed in the community, looking at where we can invest to make sure older adults are safe, can stay in their homes longer, and we can guarantee that they have the life that they deserve and have worked for. I have to say that it's incredible being part of this team and working with this team. They are an incredible organization, and they've done tremendous work in our community. But every good team needs a good leader, and I have to say that we really have to sing aloud and thank Mary for all her hard work on this. Mary Endrusick really keeps this aging in place model moving in the direction. She keeps all of us in the Area Agency on Aging and NeighborWorks focused on the mission and focused on the older adults. So I have to thank her for her work in coordinating all of this. It's a big undertaking, and it's really important to those members in the Lackawanna community that benefit from this. I couldn't be happier to be part of this work. I couldn't be happier to say that we're going to be able to change the face of aging services in Lackawanna County now more than we have been because of the investment that we have in the HUD dollars and because of the investment that the community has made in this program. So for the older adults in Lackawanna County and for those of us in Lackawanna County government who are here today working for the best interest of our older adults, we want to say thank you, and we are very proud to be a partner of NeighborWorks and a partner with Jesse and his team. Like I said, partnerships like this, that is what changes. That's what changes the landscape of the work we do, and we just need to continue to invest in our partners and continue to make the changes we need to and make this community even stronger than it already is. Thank you. Have a good
Thanks so much, Jason. We truly appreciate your exemplary leadership, your partnership, that of all of the folks in Lackawanna County who've helped make this happen. I also want to just acknowledge the commissioners who are here today, Chris Chermak and Jerry Notariani, who we appreciate the fact that you've given Jason some free rein to do some really good things at the Lackawanna County Area Agency on Aging, which we truly appreciate. He's a creative guy, and he takes opportunities like this and runs with them. And I know his colleague from the Wayne County Area Agency on Aging is the same way. One of the most exciting things for us about this opportunity is the fact that we get to expand into Wayne County and really work with some great new partners in Wayne County overall. We've been amazed by the truly incredible leadership that has been shown by many of the organizations in Wayne County, including Wayne Tomorrow, Wayne County Community Foundation, the Wayne County Commissioners, all who are really positioning the county to do great things in housing in an opportunity like this. So, Mary, we're really excited to have you on board. Would you come and say a few words on behalf of Wayne County? Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Good morning, friends and colleagues. I'm so thankful for the opportunity to be here today to speak to you all about this wonderful initiative that means so much to our community. An important part of the mission of the Wayne County Area Agency on Aging is to assist the older adults in our community to age in place. We know this to be an important goal because we hear it from the older adults that we work with on a daily basis. Overwhelmingly, they desire to stay in their homes. An important part of aging in place is also to ensure that the older adults we work with are safe, having their needs met, and enjoying a good quality of life. This is the least that we can do for the older adults who have done so much for us. We are fortunate in Wayne County to be able to provide services such as our senior centers, adult daily living center, our home delivered meals, transportation, assistance to caregivers, grandparents raising grandchildren, and interventions for older adults that need protective services. And we also have many wonderful partners that help us to assist with these goals. We're so grateful for the opportunity to work with our new partners, NeighborWorks, as well as the Lackawanna County Area Agency on Aging. This funding will help so many individuals in our community. Home modifications and repairs will enhance services already being received, as well as allow a greater access to service. For example, a bathroom safety enhancement will improve the ability to have hygiene needs met. A ramp will assist those who need to get to doctor's appointments, shopping, and senior center visits. I know that these small changes will go a long way in improving feelings of wellness and reducing social isolation. And in addition, these jobs will provide jobs to contractors in our area. We know that the population of older adults over the age of 60 has been rapidly rising and is expected to continue to do so. The need for services and home modifications has also been rising, and without funding such as this, we would not be able to keep up with the needs of our community. This is such a positive initiative for Wayne and Lackawanna County, and I would like to thank each and every person that helped to make this happen, especially the staff of NeighborWorks for the knowledge, experience, hard work, and persistence that they have brought and will continue to bring to this project. So again, thank you for making this investment to the older adults in our community.
Well, before I introduce our next speaker, I also want to acknowledge and thank the staff members that are here representing different state elected officials. So we have Bill Davis from Representative Kyle Mullen's office, Andrew Popish, I'm not sure if he was able to make it, from Representative Bridget Kozarowski's office, and Brian Doughton from Senator Marty Flynn's office. We appreciate you and all the work that you do on behalf of all of us in state government. We couldn't really launch programs like this without the support that we've received from the state through Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency and some other major partners. So we really appreciate you. Thank you. So we're really grateful to be joined by John Blake, District Director for Congressman Matt Cartwright. So the Congressman has been a very strong supporter of our work in the National NeighborWorks Network and here at the local level as well. He's truly helped make projects like this happen. And since joining the Congressman's team, John has jumped right into that fray. He's been a great help to us as our former state senator and a highly effective legislator. John has a lot of experience in this type of work specifically, which is exciting to us. And he actually was here, I think about 10 years ago, when we did that initial volunteer project that I mentioned. We took him on a tour to meet some of our seniors. And so he knows what we're about, and we appreciate your support, John. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse, and good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here on behalf of the Congressman, who's had, as Senator Casey knows, has a heavy lift in Washington this week. But yeah, Jesse was right. 10 years ago, I actually met Michelle, and we walked into one of the houses that the volunteers were fixing up a decade ago. But even more so, I need to say how grateful I am to be in a room that's full of people who wake up in the morning to try to make lives better for others, because that's the room we are in today, Jesse and his team particularly. My high school football coach used to say, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. And Jesse talked about all these years of work, first fed by the philanthropic generosity of Northeastern Pennsylvania, and then ultimately by some public dollars. But think for a moment, folks, think for a moment about a national competition where only 30 get across the finish line. And Jesse and his team brought it across the finish line for $1 million in federal money to improve the lives of our seniors here in Northeastern Pennsylvania. I thank Jason and Mary for their work in their respective agency on aging in Lackawanna and Wayne County. Those partnerships are critical to the success of this kind of endeavor. And as someone who is aging in place right now, I can appreciate this work. If anybody knows my history, my 30-year career before I became an elected official, I began as a housing rehabilitation specialist at the Lackawanna County Redevelopment Authority, fixing up homes owned and occupied by persons of modest means. And that's when I learned how public dollars could make lives better. It's where I cut my teeth. And the work is never done, folks. We are 40 years later, and the work is never done. But I want to really, really congratulate Jesse and his team at NeighborWorks for winning this award, for earning this award, and for making lives better for seniors here in Northeast PA. Thank you on behalf of the Congressman.
Thank you so much, John. We appreciate you. It's now my distinct honor to introduce Senator Bob Casey as the chairman of the Special Committee on Aging in the Senate. We know that nobody in federal government works harder on behalf of seniors than Senator Casey. Senator, we've appreciated the partnership and friendship that you've shown us over the years on many different issues, from mortgage foreclosure prevention work way back in the Great Recession days to personally coming and visiting a lot of our aging in place clients in their homes to hear from them and learn more about what they need. We truly appreciate all that you do, not just for us here in Northeastern Pennsylvania, but for all of us across the Commonwealth. So would you say a few words for us, Senator Casey? Thank you.
Well, Jesse, thanks so much for your introduction. I was, as you mentioned, those days when we worked on mortgage foreclosure, that does seem like a long time ago, but you don't seem to have aged in that time period, but I know I have. But I'm really honored to be here with NeighborWorks Northeastern Pennsylvania and so many others who made this day possible. And I want to make sure I emphasize as much about the work that you're all doing as I do to talk about this great news. But let me just start with the right word, which is congratulations. You should be accorded on a day like today both congratulations and commendation for the work that you do every day, not just on a day when there's $1 million grant announced, but on every day. So we're grateful for the work that you're all doing every day to make life better for seniors here in Northeastern Pennsylvania, and for purposes of today, in a particular way for those 200 families in Pennsylvania that are in Wayne and Lackawanna County that will benefit. But I do want to start by thanking our commissioners who are here. Jerry Notariani, Jerry's there. With the mask, I sometimes can't be sure, and Commissioner Shermack for being here as well, for your leadership. And John Blake, on behalf of Congressman Cartwright, all of the state officials represented, again, Jesse and his team, Mary as the Aging in Place Coordinator. I'm looking here at the handout that I got, which kind of is a summary of these posters that depict all of the work that Mary and her team do. I was looking at the 4 parts of it: critical safety modifications, volunteer services, financial counseling and education, and finally preventing social isolation. All of that work, day in and day out, done on behalf of seniors here in Lackawanna County and throughout the region. So Mary, thank you for your great leadership, and Mary Ursich as well, and Jason leading area agencies on aging. This $1 million grant, of course, will make it possible for seniors in their homes to have those modifications so they can live a full life, an independent life, a life with dignity. That's a lot of why we're here today. Dignity, independence, peace of mind throughout the family around that senior. To know that their mom or their dad or that senior who's a loved one is going to be in a home that's safe for them in more ways than one. So it is about an affirmation of their dignity. But also I think it's a recognition that we who are not seniors, or we who are coming close to being seniors, should take steps on a regular basis, not just in a larger sense to affirm their dignity, but to give back a little bit for all they've done for us. All these Americans, all these Pennsylvanians, seniors here in Northeastern Pennsylvania, think about what they've done. These are people that fought our wars, that worked in our factories, that built the greatest economy in the world. They were innovators and educators. They were discovering cures for so many of us. They were pushing forward that full measure of progress that we hope we can maintain. These are Americans that should have the opportunity that this $1 million grant provides. It's just one way that we can express and really manifest our gratitude for all they've done for us. And I was coming in the hotel this morning, and I was late, so I was the last one in, so I was holding everybody up maybe, but I had to stop for just a couple of seconds. I walked in and saw those two big chunks of anthracite coal there. And every time I come to Carbondale, I'm thinking about my father's side of the family, or his father's side of the family. And I was here back in June. My wife and I were up here just briefly on a Saturday, and I said, can we take a minute and go up to St. Rose Cemetery? I'm in kind of a family history part of my life, I guess. And as I was coming in here this morning, I was thinking about all the sacrifices that made it possible for many of us to be here. I had my great-grandfather, Thomas Casey, and his wife, Sarah, were both dead before they were 40. He died at 35 in the mines. She died a couple years later. I think she was 39 when she died. And all of that comes back to me now as I think about what this day means and what this grant means. If, God willing, he and she, if those two had lived into their 70s or 80s or 90s, they would likely not have the benefit of a grant like this. The benefit of something as basic and as simple as a home modification, so they can navigate through their homes and live in a manner that affirms their dignity, that is a measure of our gratitude. So for so many reasons, I'm grateful to be part of this today, grateful to celebrate, but also grateful to remember what this means when it comes down to that individual senior, so that she or he can live some measure of a full life of independence, so they don't suffer that social isolation that's referenced in one of the posters here, how physically damaging social isolation can be in the life of a senior. And finally, let me say this. I know you're hearing a lot about what's happening or not happening these days on a daily basis in Washington. One of the most important things we will do, and we will get it done, when we pass this large piece of legislation called the Build Back Better budget, but that technical and strange word reconciliation bill. When that bill is done, one of the component parts, among many, will be new funding for home and community-based services. That policy and that investment is entirely consistent with and complementary to what you're all doing here today. So thanks for being great advocates for seniors in Northeastern Pennsylvania, and for purposes of today, seniors in good old Lackawanna County as well as Wayne County. But also thank you for what you do every day to affirm their dignity and to express some measure of gratitude for all they've done for us. God bless your work.
Thank you so much, Senator. Thank you for your words. We truly appreciate you. So next steps. In early 2022, our goal is to put these resources out on the street, start helping the seniors in our communities who need it most. As Mary mentioned, there's a list of folks here in Lackawanna County that we want to try to get some help to, and some new folks in Wayne County who we're going to identify and get out and meet with and understand what their needs are so that we can assist them as well. Thank you for being a part of this. If you're here, you likely had a piece of making this happen. You've been a partner, a friend of our organization. We truly appreciate you. Thank you for spending the time with us this morning as we made this special announcement. So thank you have a great rest of your day.